Here we are on my Peloton home screen. You'll see my profile picture there, and then my username, and then the hashtag that I use whenever I ride on the leaderboard. So you can express yourself a little bit. I'm a Emma Lovewell fan when it comes to the bike, so I have that as my hashtag. So you see the days of the week, and then you go to the right. It's the next set of classes that are coming up that are live. You'll see there's a 45-minute boot camp. The count down below that, you'll see the banner there, that Crush Bike Boot Camp. This is just what Peloton is trying to highlight. This banner changes quite a bit. Before this, it was a Beyonce a few days ago. A lot of Beyonce ride stuff with Beyonce music. Below that, you'll see the list of instructors that I normally ride with. And I can click on that, and then it'll go to their newest classes. To the right of that, it's your daily picks. So this is just curated. What do you think, what Peloton thinks you may want to do based on what your ride history is. So that's pretty cool. Quick way to get suggestions and ideas for what to do that day. And that's really what the home screen's about. It's if you don't know what you want to do or you're just looking for ideas, this is the place to be. So we have sessions. So sessions are on-demand classes that are in the on-demand library. So you can take any of these classes anytime you want. But if you want to ride with other riders on demand, not live, but other riders that will be live right then with you, you can join a session for that ride. So you see here in 2 minutes and 25 seconds, these classes will have a session start. We can ride with other people and have that leaderboard change, but the instructor will not be live. Below that are your featured classes. Just again, more curated stuff to give you ideas. Popular right now, I like that one a lot for when I don't know. There's a reason why stuff's popular. Either the music's really good or the instructor's just on it that day. So I like to use that a lot to come up with ideas, especially when I'm riding with other instructors I normally don't ride with. And then there's a 10-minute strength class suggestions down here because cardio is part of it, but you know what else? You got to do strength training too. Below that is popular with Team Lovewell. I have that hashtag, so here's some suggestions of like-minded people, you know, that with rides that they're suggesting, hey, you may want to do. To the right, workout with friends. People have friends I'm friends with on Peloton. I can see what classes they're taking. Challenges, these are badges and stuff you can unlock. It's just kind of a fun way to make working out fun. To the right is recommended artists. So when you're doing these rides, cool thing about Pelotons, they got really good music. So with these rides, you can heart that music and it'll add it to a playlist. We'll get to that a little bit later. Cool thing about this is it's going to recommend classes that have these bands that I like. So you can see here. As we go down, there's featured tags. Again, it's just a way to express yourself on the leaderboard or ride with other people who have that hashtag. So next up, we're going to go to programs. These are just curated collections of classes with some goal. So mastering the basics of cycling. You see here, we click on that one. This is a great one if you're going to get a Peloton bike to do. It's 6 weeks, 4 days a week, 28 classes, 15 minutes to 45 minutes per day. And this is, you know, if you don't have a plan or a workout plan long-term, you can do one of these and it will guide you along. So there's quite a few here. The ones that I did have been mastering the basics of cycling and then total strength. Moving on, we go to classes. So this is really the bread and butter here when it comes to Peloton. So classes, this screen right here is where you look at all your on-demand stuff and you can filter by class type, instructor. Right now we have cycling, selected. So if I go to filters here on the top right, I have a bunch of filters I can do. And we'll look at all those: length, by instructor, music, class type, subtitles. I'm gonna go a little quick because there's a lot to cover and I don't want this video to be an hour long. And you can read the rest of those. And that's for cycling. And if I want to get a little more specific, cycling boot camp, I click on that. Also filter out by classes. Same thing, length, instructor, music. And then where it's really gonna be different is gonna be your class types with these different types of workouts. The length, instructor, music, being able to select that's pretty self-explanatory. But class types, body focus, music, and body weight for this one. And we'll continue on. Now we're getting off the bike with stuff beside the bike. And here we get into strength training. A lot of options there. We'll look at those filters and those class types real quick. Cardio. I've done this cardio before using my iPad before in a hotel room whenever I did not have a chance to work out. And also the hotel I was at did not have basically any workout equipment at all. So I did some of this. It was really great for the 5 days I was on a business trip. So there's all the class types there. Let's see, let's go to stretching. Class types. Yoga. Look at the different types of yoga you can do. A few other differences here is going to be body focus could also be something that's interesting with this filter. And then meditation. You gotta get a little mindfulness in. It's not just about the body, it's also about the mind. So that's how we filter all of the classes. Next up, let's go check out the schedule. So the schedule is where all of the live stuff is displayed. You can see what live classes are coming up. So we saw some of that earlier whenever I was on the home screen. There's a way to select live classes there and to count yourself in or to join one. But this is great if you're trying to plan, what's going into Wednesday and see how many live classes are. Maybe I'm getting up at 6 a.m. want to do a live class. There's one right there. So we can kind of see what the schedule looks like. I'm going to just show you a average Wednesday. We'll swipe up on that. There's Wednesday, so you can see what classes there are on a Wednesday. Quite a selection on Wednesday. And there's Thursday. Friday. And I'm going to go on to Saturday and Sunday. And then I'll probably move along after that. There's Saturday. A lot of people are off work. Most of us are on Saturday and Sunday. So this is a great time to do a live class. And then let's go into Sunday. Another great time to do a live class. Okay, so let's go head over to challenges. So challenges I mentioned before, these are just ways to kind of make, working out fun and getting different, badges and different things, to kind of motivate you to work out. So the annual is the new one that they've been doing. This is the second year. It's how many minutes you work out. So it goes across all the different disciplines, not just the bike. You can run outside, you can do yoga, it's any of that stuff. So it's great if you're trying to do other stuff than the bike. And that's where it's motivated me a little bit, is that I can to do other things besides just the bike. And there it is. And I'm at 2,000, I'm almost at 3, so I will unlock that before the end of the year. And I could probably get to 4,000 too. And you can join these whenever they come up. It's kind of neat. So that's challenges. We'll move on over to more. So more, these are the other features besides riding with an instructor. So here we see where's just ride. This is a way to just work out at your own pace. So you see there's no instructor. It's just a way that I can spin the pedals here. Let me spin them. And it'll track all your metrics. You can listen to your own music, do whatever you want. This is all it's going to show. So it's a way to work out without an instructor. We'll exit out of that. And then we'll go into Scenic Ride. This is newer. They're not updated as much as I would have liked, especially the guided ones. This is where you're riding out style. They have, some pretty sophisticated camera setups there, where you're riding along with these instructors and they're instructing you and changing resistance and all that good stuff, but you're outside. Really neat, definitely pretty cool if you're trying to mix up your workouts. And you can see we got guided, distance and time. And this came out 6 months ago and there's 3 guided ones, so a little disappointed by that. Okay, so there we are with that. Now, we'll go back to the home screen. Okay, so now we're going to the far left on the screen and we'll go to my user profile, ElectricChris. So this is another awesome big part of Peloton, and that is all the metrics and stuff that you can get and track and use that to motivate you. So this is my info here. The last 30 days, 8 active days, been really busy, doing a lot of other type of workouts, running outside, testing out Apple Fitness Plus, stuff like that. So these are my workouts, and you see the right, there's the calendar. Also up top, I missed that, which is my total lifetime workouts with Peloton, and you can read all of that. There's also an option to find members if you want to connect with them, and if you have your account connected to Facebook, you can find Facebook friends who also have Peloton bikes. So that's your overview. We can kind of look around here. Now in the way, I should have probably talked about this earlier, but to the right, you'll see 2 things that popped up on your home screen. This keeps popping up because it's saying, hey, you got one friend working out you can work out with, and there's 4 of my tags that are working out. So if I want to work out with people who have those tags, you can join that. 2. So I'll go ahead and click on that to get rid of that, and you'll see my records here. So these are my PRs, but you can see these are ways to track yourself, and you can look and compete with other people too by going to their profiles and see what theirs are, what their records are. So there's mine. I don't have any bike boot camp workouts. And then here's more of those achievements I was talking about. So these are events, milestones, really cool things you can unlock. I mean, look how neat these look. I love to be able to buy some of these special event ones as pins or something, but not right now. And you can see all of these milestones and things to get you motivated and keep you motivated. So let's go back to overview. So there was that. We hit up, here's the calendar, a little more expanded version of that with a few more, pieces of information, calories, stuff like that. You can look at this all yourself. Workout history. My achievements we talked about. Activity. I like this bar graph here. So you can see output, calories, distance, average output, heart rate, and then the Strive score, which is this newer metric that Peloton has come up with. I got a video on that if you want to check it out. I'll put a link to it down in the description of what a Strive score is. And then we go into music. Now, music is something that when this was added, I've been quite a fan of. You can see all the music I've saved. You can connect your Apple Music or your Spotify to your Peloton, and then as you go or are doing a ride, this music will show up on the screen, which we'll show later, or I'll show later, and you can heart it, and now it'll show up on this playlist that's on the bike, but also now in your Apple Music or your Spotify account on a Peloton playlist with your username. Very cool way to discover new music or music that you've liked but you don't have in your library. So as we continue on, we're going to go back to the home screen. Okay, so we're back on the home screen. We're moving to the right here. And you'll see the red, it's like a person, it looks like you're in front of a screen. We've talked about that already. To the right of that, it's a box with a plus in it. This is your stacks. So a stack allows you to string together multiple classes, and they will go from one class to the other without you having to start a class, do that class, and then get off the bike or stop riding the bike, I guess, and then go into the settings, find that next class and start it. Maybe you want to do a Peloton ride, then do some strength training, and then do some stretching. With this stack feature, you can queue up all those classes and have it ready to go. So for example, let's say I wanted to do this, Alex ride here, and you'll see there's that plus with the box right there underneath the start, and I can add that to my stack. So there's one class I want to do in my stack, which is a 30-minute low impact. Now I'm going to go do some, let's see, strength, and I'll pick a strength class. We'll just pick the first one here, this 20-minute body weight. I will add that to the stack, and then I want to do some stretching. I'm going to add a 5-minute post here with the new instructor. Now I can view that stack and have all 3 of those. There's a 30-minute, 20, and a 5. So it's at 55 minutes of working out, ready to go. I hit start, and it'll take me from class to class to class without having to go back in and find everything. It's a great way to, to build a workout for the day. It's one of my new kind of favorite features. Now to the right of that is basically a news feed. It's all your friends, what they're doing. You can see the class they've taken or start a class that they've taken. To the right of that, you'll see 3 dots. So we'll click on those, and it brings up some settings and another menu. To the top, there's instructors. This is just a list of all the instructors and what they do. You can click on any of them. Let's click on that one, and a little information about them all down below. Don't really use this menu very much. Down below that, you can find your Peloton members. If you're looking to find, your friends, people who have Pelotons. Below that, find Facebook friends, explore tags. This is a way to express yourself on the leaderboard. Here you can add these. So I have Peloton Dad, Pelo for Wine. We'll add that one, why not? Profile settings. This is going to be my information here. So we're not going to go too in depth about that. Device settings. This is basically the settings for this tablet. The Peloton is basically a very large Android tablet. This is those settings right here that you can change. Normally you don't mess with those. The Peloton 101, this is a great way to go see all those videos from when you first set up your Peloton bike. So these videos will be available for you to watch when you first get it and you're signed into it and you're trying to get everything set up. If you want to look at them again, here's where they're at. About, just some bike information. And then of course you can exit to login screen and then log out. One other thing I do want to point out here is under the profile settings. One thing that's really important is that birth date, having that in there because it'll automatically calculate your max heart rate, you know, using the CDC 220 minus your age, gives you your max, and then it'll do all of your heart rate zones for you automatically. Putting that in there, your height and your weight, those are all used to calculate your calories burned. So we're back out on the home screen now. And in the top right, we have settings. So if we click on settings here, you'll see the Wi-Fi I'm connected to, brightness for your screen, volume. I'm casting the screen right now. Any mirror cast device, so like a Fire Stick is a great example. You can cast this screen to that. I'm casting it so I can record the screen of the bike. And then we have Bluetooth audio. I don't have any connected right now. Heart rate monitor, if you're going to use that. And then device settings, which will take you back to that device settings screen if you need to get to that. So if we look at the ride here, we have about a minute until the class starts. That gives you a chance to get everything ready. But let's say you are ready, you can click that skip intro button. And you'll see the timeline there of what our plan is for the ride there. And that will go across and fill up with yellow, I believe, as the ride goes. You'll see warm up is what we're getting ready to start. And then there's cycling. And if there was weight training of any type during this, you would see that on there as well. To the left, you'll see my heart rate and then the strive zones. So I'm zone 1 right now, 56%, and that'll change based upon obviously my heart rate and the numbers I put, my age, and all that will change where your zones are. So to the right is the big leaderboard. I don't want to miss this. This is a big part of Peloton. So this is going to change based upon how hard I'm riding. And that's based upon my cadence, which is at the bottom left, and my resistance, which is at the bottom right. So the higher these are together, then the higher that middle number output is, which is how much energy I'm making in watts. And as I'm making this energy, it's tracking it down at the bottom under total output with a KJ. That's just how much energy I've created during this ride, how much energy. So that number goes up, obviously, and we're competing against other people, and I can make that number go up faster depending on how hard I'm working. And that makes me go up or down the leaderboard depending on that. You'll see speed, distance, total output, and then my active calories, and then total calories. Total calories is the normal, how calories are calculated on the bike. Active calories are whenever you're wearing an Apple Watch. Now, Apple likes with their activity app, track how much, how active you actually were, not just how many calories you burned, but how many calories you burned by actually being active. On the leaderboard, let's go back to that for a second. So you see all-time leaderboard, because this is an on-demand class that's already happened. I can also go here and say, who's in this class right now with me? There's 65 other people. I'm gonna stop pedaling. 65 other people in this class. How are we, where am I at? Now, we didn't start at the same time, so you can see there's one below me who's been riding almost half the class. Has much less output. And that's why if you're trying to be competitive, you'd want to do one of the session classes or a live class. I can also filter by a bunch of different things. We'll bring those up. And you can see if I wanted to see just me, age, gender group, so males, 40. How do I fall on that? Or whatever you want to filter for. So there's one last thing I don't want to miss, and that is right here. If we click on the little notes, there it is. There's the music I was talking about. So there's a John Mayer song. If I go ahead and heart this, now that's going to show up on my Peloton playlist in Apple Music. It's a really cool feature. And that is basically the experience as a Peloton rider when it comes to actually riding. This is how the interface looks. This is the numbers and things you're going to be looking at. And this is pretty close to how mine normally looks whenever I'm riding. I like a lot of here now. But this is basically how I have it set up. You can get rid of all this by double tapping the screen. You can bring it back. And you can get rid of some of this if you don't like that. You can bring it back or get rid of it. Everything with an arrow here can be hidden. And that's the rider experience.